Okay, on this video, we're going to look at why is the average American broke, tired, beat down, and poor. We're going to look at it, you know what I'm saying? In this video, we're going to look at who has the money, who has the power, who has the influence, and what is happening to the common people who live here.
Resource, which is our time on the planet, our effort, but our time on the planet. They can take that non-renewable resource, by the way, and transduce it into a debt instrument, Federal Reserve notes, things they're not actually worth nothing. They're actually debt instruments. They're IOUs. And the rate of exchange for our time is so low, such that they can make a great deal of profit off of leveraging our time so that the companies make money and we make very little for what our time is really worth. Then do they pay you your full measure? No, they take half of it out as withholding on taxes that are unconstitutionally levied against us to take away even more of that labor transduced into worthless units, only to return it over a year later after inflation has made it even.
I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. As I look at just the common American people and the average person that makes lesser than $50,000, let's say they make $40,000, a good $12,000 to $13,000 of that $30,000 is going to go straight to the government. And he's saying that they pay it back during the taxes. No, they don't. I haven't seen a tax return in the last 7 years. So we all know if you have children, then you can get some good money back. But what about the regular person that don't have it? They don't have any children. Their children are grown up, but they're still paying taxes. You know what they tell us? They take all this money from us every single year. And at the end of the year, they tell us that we are in debt and we owe the government. Why they just didn't take the money the first time? Why wait to the end of the year to tell me that I owe y'all even more money that y'all know that I don't have? Won't you just take all the money from me the first time? They'd be all like, Jehosa, then you wouldn't be able to pay your rent. Jehosa, you wouldn't be able to eat. I would rather it be that way for me to be at the end of the year so I can be even. You know what I'm saying? I don't owe anybody. This is why I say that we pay to live in this country. We pay to work in this country. Everything that we do costs something. And then it's even badder as I look at it. It's okay. Now it's bad for single people, but it's even better for our elderly people because you see them always trying to take from them, always sitting there talking about, we gonna cut off Medicaid, we gonna take off your Medicaid, we gonna take away your Social Security, we gonna take away your pills. It's like, damn, you sit up in this country and you work for the last 60 years and the government's not gonna take care of you. That doesn't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying? You sit and you had a job and you work for 45 years and something bad happens. So you can't work no more and the government don't want to flip your bill for you.
Then less value. Then we spend what's left and have to pay an additional sales tax, 7 to 8, 9, 10%. And one of my favorites is that even before we get those dollars, they take our money and put it aside for a retirement in an IRA or a 401k. And we think that someday in the future, the IRS will honor its word and that we'll get that money back without tax.
We seen recently, I know all these older people and they just told me, they was like, man, they hit our retirement. I've been saving on my retirement for the last 50 years, Jehosa. The government just took $30,000 from me. That's a lot of money just to take from somebody. That's robbery right there. You know what I'm saying? The not the unemployment, but the Social Security got really hit. Them 401k plans this year really got hit because your government is so greedy and so thirsty for money. You know what I'm saying? It's like a new form of suppression. It's like we over here in America, and it's like we follow after the old traditions and the old systems of serfdom. I really mean this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? Indentured servant. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what I feel like being in America. I feel like an indentured servant for the crown, only to make them more richer and have even more power, more than what they have now. This is what I feel like.
IRS has stated plainly that they'll change those rules on a whim, even though they said they can't be changed. Even if they did honor their word, by the time you get it back, it won't have even made up the value that inflation is degrading it in the first place, and you've lost money. You might as well have just taken the tax hit. And then the pièce de résistance is that media cons us into thinking that we can have the riches of avarice by putting what's left of our money, after all the expenses and taxes, into a market that is designed to take our money and recycle it. And the best part about that is that we can't really deduct those losses more than $3,000 a year, and we will take up to 40% tax hit on the capital gains. Oh yes, and the more money you make, the more it's taxed. Does this seem like a fair system to you? Like there
I don't think so. I think that only works for the poor people. You know what I'm saying? The more money we make, the more money that will be taxed. You know what I'm saying? If we can't clear that $500,000 a year, then they'll always be able to put up these programs to steal and take more from us. So he right, you know what I'm saying? But that only happens to the people that don't make more than 500,000, $1 million, $2 million. Everybody else, 70% of all people will be hit over this and stolen from. The one part I just don't get is why sit there and take so much from the people, and you see that they don't have anything, and you constantly doing more things to take more from them. It's like we're in bondage. It's like we're in bondage to our government. It's like our government owns us.
The wealth strategy planned into having a JOB.
I have a new book for you called Incorporate for Freedom. Corporates.
Okay, that was our first speaker for today. Let's go to the next speaker, and then we're going to be infatuated. We're going to be focused on power. Where's all the power at? Who got it?
The right to private property is not a vague economic theory. The founders of this country knew that a free people could not remain free if the government controlled where they lived and what they could do on their property. The right to private property is the right to be secure in what you have earned and the right of the individual to determine who has access. And that is why the Fourth Amendment is so important. It clearly states that the government cannot come on your property without due process that has been reviewed by a judge. And that's not a legal loophole. That is the defense against government overreach.
So, okay, now you heard what he said. But if you live here in America and you don't own your property because you still got to pay the government. So what they gonna do to change? You know what I'm saying? The government will always own us like that. It'll never be a place to where we have to where it'll be ours. You know what I'm saying? Ours. If we still have to answer to the government about what we're doing and still having to come out of pocket and pay to the government. Our government ain't broke. Our government ain't on hard times. I heard what the Trump said today. He said from a portion of the money that, you know how he said he wanted to give everybody a stimulus check for $2,000. But he also said a portion of that money that he got from the tariffs that he's going to put on the debt that is owed to America. You know what I'm saying? Well, not owed to America, but the debt that America owes. I don't see no way in it unless our government changes. You know what I'm saying? So much power and so much control over the people. When does it come to a point to where you just let the people live and you let the people be free? You know what I'm saying? You let them live and you let them prosper and you let them thrive in their own cities and they states. I just don't see it here in this country. This is why so many different people move out of America. They get tired of every single thing that they're spending. And then they get tired that you can go to another third world country. I'm not saying to go anywhere. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to pack up and go here, pack up and go there. But this is the reason why people are leaving. They want to be at ease and be at peace and to be free. That's the only reason why they leaving. You know what I'm saying? To be at free. And the more people come over here, they find out that you gotta really pay. You really gotta pay to live here like that. So let's go into who is in power and why things will always be the same. I don't think there'd be no end. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'd be any end to this. Why is that? Because once more again, the money, the power, the control to be able to use over other people to dictate their lives, how they live their lives, how many children's, what school do they go to, and it's all added up on the economy, the monies. You know what I'm saying? The money, it's all falls on. You can't have a big family if you ain't got no money. You can't go to a good college if you don't got no money. You can't buy a good car if you ain't got no money. So it's all about the economy. It's all about the money. It's all about the power. To me, why are they in power? Why is it only few little of them? Let's see.
Well, it's not any one organization. There's something called swarm intelligence. If you watch all those birds flying together, not any one of them is in control. They move together as a unit. They're closely knit. They're quote unquote telepathic, but they move with a singular goal. The goal of the elites here is power, profit, and control. This is the goal. So if we look at it from a control system, what are the inputs they're sending into this system to achieve their goals? And what is the output that they see? So if you're an elite over here and you're looking at those 8 billion people, how do you know you're achieving your goal? Are people getting fat, meaning unhealthy? Are people getting dumb, which means ignorant? Are people happy, which means are they being entertained? Are people divided? Are they isolated, disconnected? They don't want people here connecting with each other. Are people feeling helpless? Are people looking to the elites to save them? And they like that. They like when people here are looking to them, the enemy here, for their saviors. They really love that. They want people to be disorganized. And they definitely want people to be helpless. This is what they want. If you do not want to unite among people here and find who your own leaders are from below, they are quite happy. They're achieving their goal. Power.
You see what he said? Do you see what he said? He said, we really got a large portion of power on this. It's just the fact that so many different people are unhinged in society, and the same greed that the elites have, we have people around us that are so damn greedy. You know what I'm saying? We got thieves, we got scam artists all around us. We got regular people that are so damn unhinged that they are not willing to work with one another. We have power. You know what I'm saying? The regular modern people, we have power. It's just the fact that we don't know how to use it. And the only way we can use it is to work together. And don't nobody want to work together like that. They all say these certain things. But when it comes down to it, we're not willing to put our foot down. The regular modern people put our foot down on some of these companies and these all these businesses. That would make a statement to the people who have the real power. You know what I'm saying? But it takes everybody united on this, you know what I'm saying, on one front, you know what I'm saying, but the people are disconnected, you know what I'm saying, they're not working together. That's why they'll always stay in power like that.
Profit and control. Now, how do they do this? You're going to realize it's not any one group. It's an interconnected, tightly knit group. They're all closely interconnected. In fact, they all go to the same restaurants. They have all their kids going to the same equestrian shows. They all shop at the same place. They all go to the same parties. You're not part of that. So who are these people? And what are the institutions of power that they have? Well, first of all, they have academia. Harvard, Oxford, Yale, MIT, IIT in India, the top 100 university presidents. These people are on boards of companies, but it's about 100 people who run the major universities in the world. NGOs, or nonprofits. These are people who run these huge nonprofit organizations like the Clinton Global Initiative, WEF, World Economic Forum, Center for Foreign Relations. And there's many other institutions like these, but it's the CEOs of these institutions. And these guys know each other. They definitely work together. The next thing you have is you have government, U.S. senators, prime ministers of countries, advisors to government, think tanks, the Belfer School at Harvard, the Stanford Internet Observatory. They created the censorship infrastructure. This includes CIA, right? Intelligence organizations. And again, all these people know each other. They're interconnected. They're a swarm. They're tightly knit. They're not divided like these people over here. They're not disconnected. They're highly interconnected. So these people are focused on power. But then you also have a whole nother people, the CEOs of the global 2,000 companies, other big organizations like big pharma companies, Pfizer, big agriculture companies like Syngenta, big investment companies, JP Morgan. You put Deutsche Bank here. You put Epstein down here. Okay, he was involved in all this. You also have the Fed, the central banks. All these people party together. When I say party together, I mean.
And it's a damn shame. Those few people, they control the water, they control the food, they control the gas, they control the medicine, they control the housing, they control all of the laws that come out that we have to look at and be like, damn, that sure is a dumbass law. It's these people right here. You know what I'm saying? It's these people right here. Why? Because they want to be able to force all that stuff on us so we can be manipulated, so we can be controlled.
Literally, they party together, guys. Absolute close-knit friends. And in fact, the CEO of a Global 2000 company will easily move to one of the investment companies down here. If you look at Target, big companies like Anheuser-Busch and Exxon, you'll find that at one point they were in one of these investment companies, and these investment companies sit on the board of these companies, and they shuffle back and forth. So this is all about making money, right? These people are about making the dollar.
So collectively as a group, we have the power to put these people out of business. You know what I'm saying? We got the power. You know what I'm saying? You would think that you don't got no say in this. You'd be like, oh, well, Jehosa, I don't have millions of dollars in the bank. But we still have the power because we dictate where we spend our money at. And that's the only real power that we have. And where we spend our money at is the businesses that they have that thrive. So we factor in with how we spend our money, which of these businesses that are in control of us. Just think about it. Just think about it.
These people are all about power, this is profit, and then fundamentally you have control. Hollywood over here. This includes celebrities. You have their agents, Hollywood agents, like Ari Emanuel, as I've talked about, who's a guy who controls most of Hollywood. He controls Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the MMA, etc. Media companies. This includes Disney, Viacom. This includes now Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. These are large media companies, Google.
Like Jehosa, what do you mean, Jehosa? All these major corporations, they start singing and dancing when we start spending our money in other places or withholding our money because once more again, it's feeding the machine. Now, look at Target not too long ago with the DEI hires and how they was playing with black people in our face and how we stopped spending at Target. And how all of their profit, everything went down. You know what I'm saying? When we stop spending with them, it takes away their control. When we stop spending money with them, it takes away their power. And y'all seen how Target was sitting up over there singing and dancing. Now they got something for Juneteenth. Now they got all these damn commercials up trying to get black people to support their company. We have the power as citizens. It's just a fact. Which companies are we going to prop up? Which companies can we honestly say that we need? And it goes all the way down to the medical. It takes over all the factors of all the conglomerates of all the businesses on what we do with our money. We have the power with our money to close down a lot of these businesses to take away their power like that. It's just on what the American people are not united. They are divided. That's why these people run roughshod with us.
You can put in there also. You also have big news station companies, Google, you can put in there also. You also have big news stations, CNN, Fox. And combined with this, now we have another group, social media influencers. This is like Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, these characters who have come in, but they do not exist without support from these guys. If you notice, overnight, a bunch of social media influencers have come out of nowhere. And these people are created by these people. So when you look at this, the academics, the NGOs, the government, the think tanks, the investment companies, the Fed, the big pharma, the CEOs, the Hollywood celebrities, media, social media influencers, and the news companies. And you can even take the top 10 of each one of them.
It's sad. You know what I'm saying? They say it's cool. Basically what he's saying. They pay all these people, you know what I'm saying? They pay all these people to influence us. And if they say it's cool, we say it's cool. So we got to stop. We got to look out for all these people, for all these different influences. We determine what is good and what is bad and what should be up and what should be down, what should be left, what should be right. It shouldn't be those same people that are controlling us. That's what he's saying to him. That's what he's saying to us. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they got influence because they got the businesses, but they got to pay people to influence us, to influence y'all on what we're doing. If we're not good with them people, They say it's good, so we just follow along. They say it's all right, so we just be like the cattle. We just be like the sheep going straight to the damn slaughter when we give in to these people.
They all know each other, everyone. And in order to manipulate these people, they need front men to manipulate these people with policies. Is what comes out of policy. These are the inputs they put into the system. Propaganda. They feed these people purposely, people who they tell them are going to save them, like the Elon Musks or Trump or the Kennedys. Now, who are the people part of the swarm that does that? They have the obvious establishment. And these people are like the Clintons or the McConnells or the Obamas or the Bushes or the Queen of England. Typically, people say, oh yeah, those guys are part of the establishment. But one of the things we teach at Truth Freedom Health, the most insidious people are what I call the not so obvious establishment. These are the people that are created to make sure that the 8 billion people look to the elites to save them. Trump, he's got a golden toilet. Mar-a-Lago, Kennedy's, completely bogus family. You can look at historically people like Gandhi or people like MLK. These people all came and were endorsed by the swarm. These people do not exist. They live in Malibu. They live in the places of the elite. And these people.
Now I can't sign on him with Martin Luther King. I can't sign on him with that. Now, if they said Black Lives Matter, I couldn't even co-sign on them on that. I don't even know why you put black people on the list like that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Because when Martin Luther King came to power, he came for civil rights for black people. That ain't had nothing to do with money. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, Martin Luther King told our government that you should pay reparations to black people. You know what I'm saying? Just like all of our leaders, all of our icons. So I don't agree with him on that. Just by putting him on the list. I don't even know why you put him on a list like that.
Are the ones that are used to send the inputs of this controller. In system sense, these are the controllers. These are the people controlling the inputs that go in. And remember, their goal is to make sure people are in the state of division, disconnection, and helplessness, particularly. They're observing all this. They have their sensors. And one of the features that they notice is that as long as people are in dysfunction and diseased mentally, physically, emotionally, they're happy. Well, what are those diseases these days? We see obesity. We see endocrine disruption, men with low testosterone, and people questioning their sexuality. We also see people with cancer. The world's population's life expectancy is going down. The United States is going this way. This is from 1980 to 2020. They like this. This is life expectancy. In fact, when they see dysfunction, you know what they do? They put another input in, which is normalize the dysfunction. Eat sugars and high fructose foods. Well, over here, people have been literally getting fat. It's led to obesity. Or they've been putting in foods that are affecting people's gut microbiome. This is what I call from policy to biology. People are getting worse and worse. They're actually making more money because the obesity now creates obesity drugs. The endocrine disruptors, let's talk about this. This will really explain what's going on with Bud Light. About 20 years ago, there was research done at the universities that clearly showed the use of restricted use pesticides like atrazine and other chemicals in the atmosphere.
Now, this is why God says that you can have your heaven on earth. This is why he say that. Some of these people, they will choose their mansion, their yachts, they high-rise building, all of their billions of dollars, their airplanes, all of their mansions, all of their island homes, you know what I'm saying? All of their island homes in Cambria, you know what I'm saying? They choose their heaven now down here on the earth. So it's true what God said. You can have your heaven on earth. As this is why these people are fighting for it so much, because they do not want to give up their slice, their portion of heaven on the earth, so all of mankind can be all right. They said, hell no, I'll take my heaven right now, thank you.
Atmosphere actually cause endocrine disruption, which could reduce male testosterone, which could also affect mammals where the sex organs can change. And this was done by the work of Tyrone Hayes. So if you're over here
So we just looked at the matrix of here in America of why it looks the way it looks. Everything is about money. Why people be so powerful? Some people be so powerful, and yet some people don't have no power at all. It's all in the matrix of America. This is a big ass game. You know what I'm saying? They keep these people with their power, with their influence, and all the profits that they make. But it first started from the power. You know what I'm saying? They want to be able to control. You see, you brother, you sister, you normal. You get a couple $1 million, you live your life being ritzy and doing all the things that you want, you be cool. You don't want to control anybody. You don't want to dictate who's going to school, who can live in this neighborhood, who can get a job. You don't care. You're normal. You would spend your money like a normal person. But these people, they already have their portion that they fighting for. This is why, your brother, I say that things, it won't change like that. Because they want their slice of heaven now. They don't want it in the thereafter.
Very hard in this country. Work ethic actually isn't the problem. The problem is that the tax system is so oppressive that average people with an average job can barely survive. That is not free. That is not prosperous. That's not the pursuit of wealth and happiness. That's not anything that we're promised. We have to shrink the government. We have to get our tax rate.
Hold on, let me stop, old buddy. That's what it is right there. That's what it is. And you would think that the government would take its boot off of our back. What do? No, they go 10 toes down. They apply more pressure on people that already don't got it. They already don't got it. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean, Jehoshaphat? Their insurance is just going to go up. All their taxes is just going to go up on them. And then they're going to be left with crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Lesser than what they had in the beginning. So when the poor in this country do get a strong foothold on something, we just lose it because they just going to up the price. And I've learned something that it'll never be a final number. I remember when I was in school, I would ask the people, what is the highest number? They would give us at that point in time. I kid y'all not. Y'all think I'm playing with y'all. I'm not playing with you. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't have a billion like that. You know what I'm saying? People were more focused on million. Million was the thing. Million was that big number. Then came billion. Now that's that big number. But in the world that we live in, that number will always go up. I'm waiting right now for somebody to say, oh my God, over last night in the stock has changed in the stock market. We actually hit a zillionaire. It's a zillionaire that has it. That's what they want, family. They always gonna press that number up so they can press the people down. You know what I'm saying? So they can press the people even more downer.
People work very hard in this country. Work ethic actually isn't the problem. The problem is that the tax system is so oppressive that average people with an average job can barely survive. That is not free. That is not prosperous. That's not the pursuit of wealth and happiness. That's not anything that we're promised. We have to shrink the government. We have to get our tax rate down to 10%, and then we have to use that 10% tax wisely to fund the things that the government should be responsible for. People work very hard in this country.